Of equal status, Cornellà are 7th in their league. Perhaps then a more accurate comparison could be with a League Two club from England. But they've taken hope from defeats at this stage that Real have suffered in previous seasons of the Copa del Rey. It's John Driscoll and David Phillips with a commentary on this one. And David, Real are not looking like a team about to drop a major claim.
No, they certainly aren't, John. And when you look at the lineup of what that they've got in store, yes, Cristiano Ronaldo has had a couple of days off. He's not here tonight. But Benzema, Chicharito up front, wide players, Visco and James Rodriguez, Yaremende, Khedira. It's a side full packed of international footballers.
Cornellà have never been as high as this in their history, far more of which has been spent playing entirely amateur football. So you'd be forgiven for wondering why they've got a stadium that looks quite this good, holds 40,000. Just happens that Espanyol play at the Cornellà El Prat. So they've got a fabulous stadium on their doorstep, Real Madrid in town, and it makes sense, I suppose, to stage the game here. Am I desperately old-fashioned to say I'm slightly disappointed it's not being held at their 1,500-seater stadium?
Yes, you could be, because it's right next door, and when I mean next door, it's 150 yards away. They call it the new camp, but it is the new Municipal Cornellà, which holds 1,500 fans, and as you're right to say, it would be more in their favour. But they've decided to come to the Power 8. It's going to be over 30-odd thousand spectators in here tonight. And we're talking about the finances, aren't we? Secunda B side, they're looking at the financial situation. They've not been to this stage before. And surely, for the coffers, it's the right decision.
Well, that's the Cornellà side. They are paid, and they're paid on time, according to their captain, which is something that many La Liga clubs can't claim. We've been looking for butchers, bakers, candlestick makers, etc. We came up with a dentist, if you equate that to a butcher, perhaps. David Garcia, the captain. There's a school teacher, the substitute goalkeeper. We've got a man who runs a cycle repair shop, that kind of thing. They train from 4 to 5:30 every evening because lots of the players have jobs as well as being paid. So in that respect, they're not like an English League Two club, because they are not full-time football professionals, unlike those guys. You might recognise a few of those names. James Rodriguez, for example, who cost 80 million euros, as David was saying. There's only Yaremende there, who's not an international. Nacho doesn't play an awful lot, but he is a full-time, a full cap for Spain. Khedira plays, Arbeloa plays. So there are 2 World Cup winners still in the Real Madrid team, despite a few players being rested. Cristiano Ronaldo, Toni, Kroos, Luka, Modrić, Iker, Casillas. Sergio Ramos has a slight thigh injury, so he probably wouldn't have played anyway. Unsurprisingly, Pepe is suspended. Marcelo's on the bench. Certainly he's not throwing this away. He's not taking this easy, is he, at Ancelotti? He's gone with probably as strong a team as he feels he's able to, without risking 1 or 2 players who need a breather.
Well, that's right, especially after the Clásico from the weekend. Few players have been rested, but when you look at the side, it's a phenomenal side. Some teams might just take a little bit of the foot off the gas by playing more of the fringe players, but certainly Ancelotti hasn't decided to do that. Yes, when you look on the bench, there's hardly any experience whatsoever on the bench for Real Madrid, apart from Marcelo.
Well, Toni Roger is a school dinners coordinator. When he's not coaching the team, he's been the coach of Cornellà now for 7 seasons. Well, as initially as a youth team coach, and then moving on to be the senior manager. Only 35. You can see the respect that he had there for Ancelotti and for Hierro. Great moment for him, of course. Men that he will have looked up to. Last minute prayers from Real Madrid players. A couple of players on the fringes. Chicharito and Keylor Navas. Navas just got the award for the best goalkeeper in La Liga in 2013-14. Hasn't had much of a chance, of course. Only 1 appearance since moving to Real Madrid. Cornellà are in green. And that's nice, because it means that they can face the most decorated football club in the world in Real Madrid in classic all-white. You can only imagine, judging by the normal attendances, of course, that most of the supporters in the stadium could well be Barcelona and Espanyol fans, of course, couldn't they? Come along desperately hoping to see Cornellà put one over to embarrass Real Madrid. They lost against Alcorcón. These are 2-legged ties. Everything's in the favour of the big team, of course. So the upset is less likely to happen, but they still do happen at times, as Pellegrini also to his cost. Easy save for Keylor Navas, no matter what they tell you here.
Well, it's an easy save for Keylor Navas, but it's a shot on target, and the first shot on target goes to the home side. But you're right in what you're saying. In respect of Cornellà, I think there's about 85,000 people in the suburbs surrounding here. It's a suburb of Barcelona, and it's great. It's great for these. I was going to call them non-league or semi-professional players. None of these players have ever played in La Liga, and for them to come up against the might of Real Madrid this evening, it's a dream come true for some players. And I'm sure at the end there'll be a lot of shirt swapping, as long as there's no embarrassing scoreline. But I'm sure that Jordi Roger, still only 35 years of age, could still be playing himself. He'll be nice and compact. He'll make it very, very hard for Real Madrid this evening. But as we know, world champions, they're going to be difficult to stop this evening.
Just as long as that shirt swapping doesn't happen before the end of the game, of course, and we'd all be outraged. Here's Iaramendi. He's played lots more than I thought, actually, Iaramendi. But every time I look at his appearances, I'm surprised. It's his 60th appearance for Real Madrid. There's Isco, widely hailed after his performance in El Clásico on Saturday night. Cornellà put a few touches together. Of course, Real Madrid were slightly embarrassed at this stage last season. They got a 0-0 draw away at the Copa del Rey fourth round stage against Olympic Chativa. It was played on a strange surface that they didn't really take to, which offers some explanation. Miscontrol by James Rodriguez, one of the world's most expensive ever players, gives it away and gives Cornellà a chance to break. Varane won the race, but Marcelo, the number 10, had a bit of pace about him.
He certainly did, and straight away you can see that Chemi, who's the number 11, and Danny Marti, the left back, they're going to have some problems this evening when you have the likes of Chicharito coming across, Arbeloa going to be doubling up, and that was the problem that Barcelona had the weekend, and it was down the flanks which caused the problems for Barcelona, especially in the left back and right back berth, where the Real Madrid players had that overload situation. And I'm sure that Jordi Roger would have looked at that and said to his wider players, Chemi on one side and Cabaye possibly on the other side, that you've really got to go and help your fullbacks this evening.
Can you learn much from watching Real Madrid in the Clásico when you're a totally different team? It's got to be a totally different occasion, isn't it, for Cornellà to upset Ancelotti's team?
Well, what they'll do is they'll dissect what Barcelona didn't do, and we all know what Barcelona didn't do down the flanks, defending. How many times did you see Suarez coming up and backing up his fullback? The same with Neymar. But you also have to look at the midfield and say, well, did they come across to stop that? But it's very, very difficult. They started off really well, but then all of a sudden what you do, you find out the weaknesses and you go and exploit them. And Jordi Roger would have had a look at that. He said, well, we've really got to contain them down the flanks.
It's Arnau who was biting into a tackle there. He's playing at left back, sometimes plays right back. As a clumsy looking tackle by the dentist, David Garcia, who's just leaned in. Chance for Chicharito. Has a look at the goal here. Might have been better going for goal. Extraordinary pass. Interesting to see Carvajal at left back, isn't it? And Arbeloa at right back. More commonly expect to see them the other way round. Is Karim Benzema, the captain tonight. Extra responsibility. Marcelo loses out and miscontrol. That's the kind of thing that could cost Real Madrid dearly if they're not quite 100% at their game and start making silly mistakes.
Well, that's right. You have to be fully focused no matter who you're playing against. I've had this situation before, John, after winning the FA Cup back in '87. We played Sutton United 2 years later, and we took it as a bit of a joke and we larked around with our warm-up, etc. And we ended up getting beat that day. And it's something that Sutton will always remember, and something that I will always remember. That you've got to take things at face value. It doesn't matter what opposition you've got in front of you. It doesn't matter whether it's Barcelona or Cornellà. You've got to go and practice the right ethics, the same sort of passages of play that you've been looking at in training. But certainly you have to be focused at all times.
I was trying to think of a way of bringing you up that day.
Well, I thought I'd get it in within the first 5 minutes and leave you to think about something else for the next 85, John.
get reminded of these things every now and again, don't you? Losing a big cup tie.
But they've also been on the other side as well, as being the severe underdog when I was at Plymouth Argyle back in 1984. And we went to West Bromwich Albion and nobody gave us any chance whatsoever. We came away and eventually we got to the semi-finals and got beat. So I've had it both sides.
I don't think many of these Real Madrid players will ever have been an underdog. Not many times in their careers. But someone like Karim Benzema has gone from Lyon when they were utterly dominant in France, winning league after league, winning the cup once as well, and then moving to Real Madrid. Sergio Gomez having to go back. Pellegrini and Dani Marti, two central defenders, fired forward by Pellegrini. Oscar Munoz running behind, and the Costa Rica international goalkeeper Keylor Navas comes to claim it. Everybody on their feet in anticipation of something special for Cornellà. I wonder how many shirts they've sold. Looking around the stadium, not that many people in green. A little hardcore of support who watch them regularly. Sami Khedira has had a lot of injury problems. A lot of speculations where he might end up. Could do with proving his fitness. That would certainly help his agents, his representatives, when it comes to negotiating his wages for future seasons. David Garcia with the break there, the captain held up, dispossessed by Yaramendi. Nice turn there by the Colombian James, and Benzema just pulled away into a little bit of space away from Arnau. Isco, joy to watch. Dani Carvajal. And James, Arbeloa's working hard. James goes for the middle, and Sami Khedira puts his head in his hands. Thought he could have done better with that. Couldn't really generate any power on the header though.
No, but it was a decent ball, wasn't it, from James Rodriguez into the path of Sami Khedira. Nice easy header for the goalkeeper Segovia to pick up, but slight concerns that he was able to get through the heart of the Cornellà back unit. Saw that David Garcia just dropped in to create three centre-halves, but still, when you have a perfect ball, good timing of the run, very hard to defend against. But you talk about Isco, I think he's had a sensational season, John. You talk about Gareth, Bale, etc., but Isco has been superb.
Benzema with the cross, and the header by Dani Marti, the central defender, first corner of the game.
Well, this is certainly going to be a tester, isn't it, straight away for the home side. Great opportunity, as you know, that James Rodriguez will just fire this in with his left foot. There's no Pepe, no Sergio Ramos.
But there is James, and the goalkeeper went and came back, and it's hammered in, super header by Varane. And it's less than 10 minutes gone, and Real Madrid can take a big, deep breath. The chances of an upset have just got slimmer.
Well, as I said, you've got the quality of James Rodriguez, but question marks, who's picking up the big centre-half? It ends up being a free header right in the middle of the 6-yard box. Far too easy. I think it's the centre-forward who'd come back. Josele had gone to pick him up. But great timing of the leap by Varane. Goalkeeper, no chance whatsoever. As you're right to say, he hesitated to start off with. But there you see, it's great timing of the run. It's David Garcia, he lost in the end. But that's certainly what Real Madrid wanted. Not what the soccer purists wanted. Hoping that Cornellà could hold out a little bit longer. But it doesn't matter what game we're talking about. That is an exquisite header.
Just couldn't live with him physically, could he, David Garcia? He didn't switch off her, and he ran with him, didn't he? It's just that Varane ran faster, jumped higher.
Well, that's the thing, if you've got the time and you've got the pace and you've got that little gap to go and exploit. Perfect balling by James Rodriguez. It's an excellent start for Real Madrid. And I think that's what Ancelotti would have liked. An early goal just to go and settle. I wouldn't say settle the nerves.
Same danger lurks though. Complacency is the main enemy that Real Madrid have to combat. Arbeloa being fouled, but it shrugs off his opponents. Garcia unable to keep it in.
Would be interesting to see if he gave himself a day off today, wouldn't it? From the dentist chair.
But he works in the evening, he must be.
Might be open 24 hours a day over there, John, you know.
I'm sure you'd forgive him. Here's Sami Khedira and Dani Carvajal. Mendy to Arbeloa. And James Rodriguez, he's been prominent. The pace of Fernández, of Chicharito. The intention there. Ancelotti just keeping an eye that there's nothing dodgy going on with the footballs. Pressure on the goalkeeper. Segovia hasn't made a save yet. He's been forced to pick the ball out of his net once. Segovia is the normal first choice, and he's played all the league games, but they have been playing Inigo Alberto, who's a primary school teacher, for the cup games. A bit harsh if you're the regular Copa del Rey goalkeeper, but come Real Madrid, you lose your place.
I just wonder whether or not it'll be a case with Jordi Roger that he says to Inigo Alberto that you play at the Bernabeu. Why not, given that opportunity? In fact, there's a couple of players who are missing, who played recently in the Liga for Cornellà, who've not made the squad. And I just wonder whether or not that'll be a role reversal for the second leg, which comes in December.
Yeah, quite a wait, isn't it, for that second leg? Here's James. That's nicely worked. Arbeloa. Benzema was waiting. It was Arnau who came to make the block.
Well, does well, doesn't he, Arnau, in the end? See a little bit of trickery by Isco, as I said before. I think he's been superb this season. We've got the second corner of the game.
They scored from the first. It's James in again. This time they get it right. It was headed away by Dani Marti. Benzema. It's the captain David Garcia who cleared. Isco's touch to James. Heavy touch by Isco. Bad a touch you normally see in Segunda B. Certainly not bad a touch you normally see from him.
That's harsh on Segunda B, that, John, I think, to be honest with you. I think it might have been a little bit lower than that. But it'll be interesting to see what's thoughts as well when you take into account that Real Madrid have got Granada coming up this week and Liverpool next week. How much of the managers who are talking about for Granada and Liverpool are they going to make out of this game tonight? Are they going to learn something about Real Madrid? It's always difficult, isn't it, with the opposition that they're facing. And also, without the likes of Ronaldo, not sure what there is to learn about Ronaldo now. Stopping him is just the issue, isn't it? Kroos and Modrić out. Pepe, Ramos and Marcelo. Still all recognisable names, aren't they? The bench, one or two new guys on the bench who we may see later. Bale injured, of course, if you're wondering where Gareth Bale is, but sort of assuming you knew that, really, because he missed the Clásico. A few weeks out of action for the Welshman. Yeah, not quite sure whether or not he's going to be fit for the weekend's game against Granada as well. Don't think he's expected to be. Scorer the winning goal in the Copa del Rey last season, of course. Magnificently against Barcelona. Nice touch by Oscar Munoz, the top scorer for Cornellà. Back to Sergio Gomez. Most of these players are Catalans. Quite a few Barcelona fans amongst the players as well as among the supporters. Header away by Dani Marti from the cross by James. Hammered forward by Pellegrini, the experienced defender. This calmly picked off by Nacho. So it'll be interesting to see that when Cornellà get the next home game, will they get a full house?
Sometimes works that way. Sometimes you get a bit of a knock-on effect, but really, this is your payday. They've got a budget of around €1 million a year. Real Madrid's is what, £500 million? Quite a difference. Interesting to know what you do with that money, isn't it? Do you secure the long-term feature of the club, spend it sensibly, do up your stadium a little bit? Do you give everyone a pay rise and then try and sign a star player?
It's always going to be difficult, isn't it? Because they came up from the third tier, or the Group 5 with the Tercera last year, into Group 3 of Segunda B. So there is a progression. You also got to take into account that some of the sides that they play against are the B sides from La Liga as well. They're in 7th place at this moment in time. They're quite happy with that. It's going to be a slow process for them. But as I say, it's the romance of the cup, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah, they beat Elche's B team at the weekend by 2-1. The whole group thing just denotes where they are, because they play against other teams from Catalonia and then down into the Valencia community as well. So that's their region. They don't play against teams from elsewhere in Spain, other regions. Sami Khedira to Danny Carvajal. Isco has a look at the goal. They closed him down. You could see the intention there from the young midfielder. So President is in the middle. I couldn't see Florentino Perez. Was I just missing him? Or was he not?
I couldn't see him either.
Maybe he tries to avoid trips to Barcelona. Acceleration. James is waiting in the middle. It's good header away. On out. Butragueño was there.
He was there. But yeah, good decision from Arnau in the end. Knew what was around him. Yes, he had to give the corner away.
The Real Madrid sporting director seems to be their senior man. Is Yaramendi. Communication error there. Well, I heard the shout from Segovia. Oscar Munoz didn't quite trust him.
No, you heard a very loud shout by Segovia saying to his centre forward just to leave the ball. Capably covered by the goalkeeper, but striker decides to take another option.
James can float another ball into the middle. Nacho just jumped underneath it. It was a good ball, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, it's a decent ball. Danny Marti at the far post. I thought it actually came off Danny Marti for a corner. The referee has decided it came off Nacho. But you'd have to say after 19 minutes they've got to be fairly happy with that, have they, Cornellà? I know they've conceded the one goal. It's not been embarrassing. There's not been any last-ditch challenges, and Segovia really has had nothing to do so far, John, apart from pick the ball out of the net.
Varane got himself in a bad position there. Lovely turn, great chance, goal! Oscar Munoz has scored! Cornellà strike against Real Madrid. What a story! And boy, what a finish!
Well, it doesn't matter what league you come from or what league that you play in. That is a great turn by Oscar Munoz and a great volley. It's the real first major intent that they've had on the Real Madrid goal. And I tell you what a strike that is from Oscar Munoz. 15 goals he scored last year. It's a good header by the right winger. Good combination play between himself and Josele. But he's still got work to do. This is the nice header into the path of Josele. Varane unsure what to do. Arbeloa can't go bringing down the striker, because if he brings him down he's going to be the last man. It would have been a free kick, it would have been a sending off. But what a strike that is from Oscar Munoz.
He will never, ever forget that moment. Neither will his coach. Oscar Munoz, the top scorer. Got 5 goals already this season in 13 starts. Been around the lower divisions. But that was his memorable moment. Flick on actually came from the right back, didn't it? Joel, the right back, got up there, got the header in. We'll have another look at it, I'm sure, before half-time, and then we'll definitely have a look at it at half-time and have an opportunity to talk us through the defending from Real Madrid's point of view. You mentioned Varane's indecision. Not exactly ultra-competitive, were they, in dealing with the ball forward and the initial header by Joel. The finish, though, was magnificent. So we're back where we started. All square. Away goal advantage for Real Madrid ahead of the second leg that comes up with everybody else's second leg in December. This is just moved now, and Sevilla are playing later on in their game from this stage as well, the first leg of this level where the top teams come into it, because they are playing in December. Flick on by Nacho, appeals for a handball. It's just another corner. Yes, Sevilla and Real Madrid is the La Liga fixture that's cancelled, so Real Madrid will rearrange so they can go away. Let's have a look at this handball shout.
What a bit of a waste in the end, wasn't it, from Frisco here? We have a look at the handball. I tell you, it was that Joel putting his hands towards his face? Could quite easily have been given. It came on very, very quickly, didn't it?
It's a handball, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't need to put his hands up. In defence of the officials, really hard to see, isn't it? Because one, he doesn't need to, so you're not expecting him to. Secondly, it was through a crowd of players. Here's James down. It's caught late by Danny Marty.
You can see there with Joel, he's next to Chicharito, and then just turns his head, puts his arms in front of his face. And as you're right to say, John, that is a handball, that is a penalty, and that is missed by the officials.
Jaime Lactra is the referee for this one. Well, the normal pattern of the game is resumed with Real Madrid camped in that final third of Cornellà. Hammers over another set piece. This one falls well short, away by David Garcia. Varane, mixed game so far for the big Frenchman, made his debut. As many Real Madrid young players do in this competition at this stage. That's what he's capable of. A little acceleration away as well, and he tries to pick out Benzema. Away by Pellegrini initially, and then helped on by Chemi. Comes quickly back though. Yaramendi. James left on the ground again. He's played with more urgency than some of his teammates. A little careless by Isco. Cleverly done. Well played by Joel.
Yeah, he does really well there, doesn't he, Joel? Feints to take the ball. This is a good little bit of skill by Varane. Won't be particularly happy with the input that he had for Oscar Munoz's goal. That's well defended by Joel Marin, who's a youth product. He's been there for quite a long time. So it's good to see that even at 25, 27 years of age, that you've got players still representing the club you were as a young boy. And I say, you talk about dreams come true. It must be a dream come true for him as well, especially playing for the club where he's been for such a long time.
Haven't got a great home record. 4 points from their 3 home matches, Cornellà, in their group of the Segunda B. They were the hardcore fans, weren't they? The regulars. Troop along week after week. James couldn't get there, but Real Madrid just pick up possession again. Can't imagine that Ancelotti's happy with what he's seen. His team has absolutely monopolised possession, as you would expect. Somehow found themselves at 1-1. One attack, one goal really for Cornellà.
Well, it's a 50% strike rate, isn't it? Because they've had 2 shots on target. The first one was quite an easy one for Keylor Navas. The second one, so not many goalkeepers would have saved that one.
Nacho in a race with Oscar Munoz. A little slow off the mark, wasn't he? Nacho, he's got an interesting career path, hasn't he, Nacho? By that, I could be not interesting in that he's only been with Real Madrid, but doesn't play much, does he? It's his 41st appearance, his 9th in the Copa. He's got a big, long contract though. His 3rd start of the season, 1 in La Liga, 1 in Champions League, and then the Copa del Rey. That's sort of the pattern. That's Danny Carvajal. Wouldn't have been too far away from booking that challenge.
No, absolutely right. And the foul's on Joel Marin. We've seen that in La Liga where a yellow card would have been given for that one. But you talked about James Rodriguez. I think it's about 3 or 4 fouls that he's had so far.
This is Pep Cabai. He's the man who repairs bicycles. Don't suppose he'll be getting much business from his opponents this evening, will he? And then Pellegrini into the feet of the goal scorer, Oscar Munoz.
Well, those are needless fouls to give away, especially when you've got the striker with your back to the goal. Just creates more concern, and we've seen that. There's a little bit of height in the Cornellà side, especially with Oscar Munoz. He's certainly going to be a threat.
But half of those hardcore have dispensed with the green shirts altogether now. Warm evening in Barcelona. Just lining himself up for a shot, is he? Oscar Munoz, his confidence must be soaring. We've got Joel there as well. That's rising, no danger for Keylor Navas.
No, it's always very disappointing, isn't it, when you get into those areas, not to hit the target. But you see, 28 minutes old, you're still wanting to cool yourself down so quickly. Must be hard work out there for the Cornellà starting 11, but doing really well so far.
Smaller benches on the Copa del Rey nights, just 5 subs apiece. And they plot out, they do the draw all the way through in the Copa del Rey. I think that's a shame. I think it takes away a little bit of the surprise and the magic. We know whoever wins this will play Atletico or Hospitalet, who is another one of the minnows. And what happens is that the smaller teams are guaranteed the really big teams. So in terms of spreading the money around, it's a little fairer. I suppose you'd be gutted if you were just one level above being guaranteed one of the European teams.
And the other thing, because of the draw, there will be no Clasico final either.
And the slight danger with that. Here's Arbeloa. I'll come back to that point in a moment. Arbeloa goes on. He's ridden the first challenge just beyond Benzema. Isco. And James. Full touch by James. Might just be a little break on here for Cornellà. Oscar Munoz. Well, he's got a back heel as well as a crashing finish in his locker, but Iaramendi comes back. Good defending.
Well, you can hear the crowd, the volume of the crowd just go up as soon as they try to have a little counter-attack, as soon as they get into the Real Madrid half. And rightly so as well. But apart from the goal scored by Varane, has there been a major concern for the back unit of Cornellà? Not at this present time. I know we're only 30 minutes old, but trying to build up a head of steam. But so far, the two central midfielders are working really hard, David Garcia and Sergio Gomez. It's actually Sergio Gomez who just drops in a little bit deeper than Garcia. But also the importance of Cabaye and Chemi working hard to go and assist their two fullbacks.
Álvaro gets the decision. David Garcia is the man who is down. Yet another James Rodriguez set piece. How they opened the scoring in the 10th minute. Haven't been great since. Varane's the target, doesn't get as far as Varane again. It's cleared by Pellegrini. Carvajal, this is nicely played. Carvajal, chance to deliver. They've slipped into doing precisely what Ancelotti wouldn't have wanted, just little bits of carelessness from the Real players.
Well, that's right, and that's why I'm a little bit surprised that Carvajal is playing at left-back and Arbeloa on the right, because Arbeloa has a better left foot than Carvajal. Whether or not they're expecting Carvajal to just step in inside and play little 1-2s with Benzema or Chicharito. But you can see there he's got time to cross the ball, and it's a poor delivery in the end. Don't look at the turf. There's nothing the matter with the turf. Believe you me.
He did, didn't he? As a quick look down. That was it Danny Marty? It was, wasn't it? The ball was in the air. You can only get away with that one if it's rolled along the ground here. Here's Varane. Isco. Sami Khedira. Khedira again. Had lots of injuries when he was at Stuttgart as well, Sami Khedira. Something like 9 separate spells out of the team, and he's found that again. Had such a strange year last year, didn't he? World champion and European champion with his country and his club. So you think, well, that's a perfect year, but of course he spent most of it injured.
Yeah, it's such a shame for Sami Khedira. Certainly one of those players that you want in your side. But also interesting to hear a few weeks ago that he was in London. Of course, the speculation then links him straight with Arsenal and Chelsea. But he's one of the guys who needs a bit of fitness. Once again, you see no real conversation there between the two players. I think it was David Garcia again. I'm not sure it is Chemi who came in at the end.
It was Chemi who came back, wasn't it? And headed he was coming back from his wide position, attacking wide position to head it behind. Another corner. Keeper saves on his line again. A touch around the corner by Marcelo. A little touch straight back to James Rodriguez. Arbeloa. Trying to hook it over the head of Danny Marty. I think it hit him in the face.
I don't know about you, John, but they've had 7 corners so far. Yes, the Raphaël Varane. But I'm looking at the goalkeeper. And with that last ball that came in, I'd expect the goalkeeper to come out and collect it. But he's a little bit reluctant to come off his line at the moment.
And here's James, took it on his left, crosses with his left, and the goalkeeper pushes it away. Segovia had to improvise.
Well, it's good improvisation to start off by James Rodriguez, hitting the ball with the outside of his left foot. Goalkeeper does really well, not quite sure where his far post was in the end. It's a nice little reverse ball by Chicharito. There you can see that James Rodriguez trying to play in Karim Benzema towards the near post.
Yet another one, and this one is glanced in again. It's Varane again. Same result, corner from the other side this time, and 2 goals for the French defender. And once again, huge relief for Real Madrid from set pieces.
Well, I just mentioned about the reluctance of Segovia to come off his line and get any sort of handling practice. This time he comes off the line. It's a nice ball by Isco. Gets beaten to it very, very easily, once again by Raphaël Varane. Not quite sure who was marking him this time. Similar sort of run. I think it's David Garcia who was picking him up. But this time the goalkeeper gets it completely wrong. Doesn't really get any height when he comes to try and punch the ball. Good timing of the run by Varane. Committed, physical, and the ball's in the back of the net. Ancelotti will be happy, but there you can see with Jordi Roger, not especially happy with his goalkeeper. 2 goals from 2 set pieces.
He will fancy a chance of a hat-trick tonight. Varane, won't he? Dominant in the air. They've had lots of set pieces. He's been forward a lot. Didn't get an awful lot of goals. That's now 6. It's not bad, actually. I think put it that way as a defender in his 81st appearance.
Well, most of those have come in the Copa del Rey as well, haven't they? So I think that's I'll put it down to that 5 of those have come in the Copa del Rey in his 12th appearance. So obviously he likes this cup competition.
And a foul by Oscar Munoz on Ieramendi. Nicely played by Arnau. He can't retain possession. 2-goal hero for Real Madrid, Raphaël Varane. And Nacho forward to Carvajal. So a different challenge. Carvajal playing on his not natural side. Arbeloa, of course, used to that. Makes you a useful player, of course, if you can drop into left back and do that almost as well as you can do the right back job in terms of getting in the World Cup squad, that kind of thing.
That's right. You've got to have versatility, and certainly as a fullback there's no reason why you couldn't play at left back if you're right-footed. It just means that at times you're looking more to come inside and go down the line, but you've got to trust your unfavoured side when you do go down the line.
He said that as James Rodriguez played the ball. He doesn't, does he?
Well, he'll go down the right-hand side and hit it with the outside of his left foot. Just the way that he's able to manipulate his ankle around.
Arbeloa's throw to James. The ref says play on. And Benzema does that. Now this time he does blow his whistle and give the free kick. He's just got his timings a bit wrong there, the referee, with when he was giving free kicks, when he's trying to play the advantage.
Well, first and foremost, we thought it was going to be a free kick for James Rodriguez. As it's materialised, they tried to allow a bit of the advantage. Unfortunately, it went against Real Madrid in the end. You see that little bit of Vaseline above the eye of James Rodriguez as well.
Oh, the goalkeeper's come an awful long way. He's got the first touch and the second. Whew. There's a man who's reluctant to come off his line for 39.5 minutes of the game, and then he comes about 40 yards off his line. And he got there.
Thankfully for him, he did.
This is Chemi. Not seen much of him attacking. Decent skills, didn't have the pace to get away from the Real Madrid defenders. Free kick for the European champions, for the Copa del Rey holders.
It was a headstrong moment, wasn't it, for Segovia to come out, and first it was a cushion header, then a little volley away. Getting a nice little skills by Isco. That was the incident on the edge of the 18-yard box where Chicharito had pulled his man back.
It's behind Chikorito. Hasn't really made the impact on this game that he would have wanted. Real opportunity, of course, isn't it, to play against a semi-pro team from the third tier, from that big third tier. So as I was trying to work out, maybe they couldn't have a League Two team. He's got 3 goals since coming to Spain. Back some more, and there's a little chance for him. And his header wide, lovely ball by James Rodriguez.
Yeah, it's always very difficult to try and decipher what Segunda B is in respect of the English Championship or the League One, League Two, because you've got Segunda as well, and as you mentioned before, John, that Segunda B is split into 4 different regions. So it's always very difficult, but we know it's a huge task for Cornellà. It was interesting that with Ancelotti before the game, just saying that a lot of his players out here tonight needs match fitness. And when you look at players like Arbeloa, Nacho, Varane, Khedira, Iyara-Mende, Chikorito, they're not in the starting lineup for the first 11, are they, at this moment in time?
Carvajal was just strong there against Joel. Khedira. Again to Danny Carvajal. His instinct is to go back onto his right foot all the time, isn't it? It's got him into a little bit of bother there.
So that's always going to be the occasion if you're predominantly right-sided, playing on the left part of the field. But sometimes you've got to go and trust your technique, your ability.
Garcia didn't fancy the shot, perhaps on with his left. Sergio Gomez on by Cabai again, but out of play. 1 or 2 of the Cornellà players are throwing a little hard. Massive difference in resources, of course, available to them, and the fact that these guys, most of them, do a job as well. Well, it's not a joyous looking bench, is it? 76% possession for the European champions. It's about what you might have guessed. Nice header by Arnau. Goodbye to Arnau again. Swerved into the penalty area, hesitant defending initially, and Nacho had to come across, hammer it away before Xabi could maybe get a shot in on goal.
Well, it's good defended by Nacho, but a nice little ball, wasn't it, from Arnau into the path of Xabi, who'd come in off the right flank towards the near post area. It's a good job that he did come across as well, Nacho.
So it's a corner. Arnau will take it, the first of the game. Conceded twice from corners. Can they grab a second equaliser that way? Not like that. Straight into the head of Iyara-Mende. Won't be a lot of added time at the end of this first half. Allegri. There's a foul before the shot, before the ooze. Big central defender throwing his weight around unnecessarily, really. And so we reach the break with Real Madrid leading. They took the lead through Rafa Varane, Oscar Munoz, the full-time electrician, part-time footballer, with the equaliser. And then Varane got Real Madrid back in the lead, 2-1 at half-time. So Real's blushes have been spared. Rafa Varane with 2, but it's an electrician who lit up the Copa del Rey, Oscar Munoz, with a memorable goal.
Sponsored by Bet365. England take on the best in the world. The QBE Internationals starts with England versus New Zealand, live only on Sky Sports.
Presence. It's about demeanor, gravitas. You're a power player. Second place is the first loser. Pause when necessary. Pause when unnecessary. Let them hang on your every word.
The pressure's on. Who knows which way the game is going to go? With Betfair, you can cash out your bet during the match. So, do you? Don't you? Oh, yeah, you do. Good times. This is Play Betfair.
In the Army Reserve, you can experience an exciting new challenge in your spare time. With thousands of part-time jobs available now, there's more than one way to be the best.
At Curry's PC World, we're here to find what's right for you. This HP has an AMD quad-core A8 processor with graphics and 1 TB of storage. A great all-rounder, and just $349. For £50 more, get this HP with Beats Audio. It's touchscreen too, so you can access everything even easier. Want all your files in one secure place? This WD MyCloud hard drive allows you to upload and access files from your smartphone, tablet or laptop. From anywhere. Just £99. At Curry's PC World, we start with you.
The Karcher Window Vac. It vacuums up moisture and condensation from windows in 3 simple steps. Spray, wipe and vacuum. The Karcher Window Vac. Now with up to £20 cashback during October. Discover effortless, streak-free windows.
I moved here when I was 35, but this is the house I really grew up in. Because it's where I realised it wasn't just about me anymore. And Saturday nights in aren't the most depressing